This is Captain Cam on the sailing yacht Annecam. We're about to cross the Pacific Ocean from the Galapagos Islands across to the Marquises Islands in French Polynesia. One crew member on board, Denise sailors. This passage should take us around 2,920 nautical miles to achieve our goal. But with the winds the way they were, we turned that into a 3,500 mile sail. Come along and enjoy the ride. We had to motor for the first 2 days. There was absolutely no wind, but a dead flat glassy sea as we left the Galapagos Islands. It was quite cool when we left. It was foggy at night, and it wasn't until we'd reached the 2.5 day mark of this passage that we started to get some breeze to help us on our way. Our first squall out here in the Pacific Ocean, and there was many more to follow. Annecam hooked up in the trade winds and gave us 6 days of over 190 nautical miles, with 2 days being over 200 miles, which was absolutely fantastic. We found the fishing in the Pacific absolutely fantastic. We came into contact with 26 good-sized fish for the entire passage. 4 won their freedom by breaking off or escaping, 4 were released, and the other 18 kept us in fresh fish for the entire passage. The sunsets while at sea are absolutely fantastic. And this was Denise's favourite place on the boat, sitting out on the pulpit for hours and hours. Most days she spent a lot of time out there. Watching off our stern as Annecam was hooked up in the trade wigs. 9 knots, flat seas, you gotta love that. Sunrise out in the Pacific. The best time of the day. And here's Denise hooked up with a very nice mahi-mahi. We love fresh mahi-mahi on Annecam. Another magnificent sunrise on a beautiful flat morning. I loved sailing in the trade winds. We had the same sail set, a pole on our genoa and a preventer on the boom, and exactly the same sail set for over 1.5 weeks. I left the lures in a bit late one evening and this crazy looking critter jumped on. Most evenings we had exactly the same conditions. It would calm off for a beautiful sunset and flat sea, and it would pick up a little bit after the sun had gone down to give us some really good overnight sailing conditions. Sunrise over the eastern Pacific, giving us a view of the magnificent day that lay ahead. We had numerous pods of dolphin come and visit us as we were sailing across this part of the Pacific Ocean. This pod just seemed to grow and grow and grow in number. There were just hundreds of them in the end. We really loved the nighttime visits when the pods would show up after dark and would light up the bioluminescence in the water, making it look like we had a squadron of torpedoes attacking the boat. And when they jumped, it was like a fireworks display. Land ho! We're looking at Hiva coming up in the distance as the sun is getting low in the afternoon sky. And just as we were approaching the island, the tuna decided to give it up for us. We had 2 lovely skipjack on board in no time at all. Just some of the islands in the Marquises: Hiva, Tahua, Mohotani, and, way down in the distance, Batu Hiva. As we approached Hiva, we couldn't get over the rich earthy smells that were filling our lungs and nostrils. This whole passage from the Galapagos Islands to the Marquises Islands in French Polynesia, we covered just over 3,500 nautical miles, and it took us 20 days and 10 hours to achieve that. We didn't break anything, and we arrived safely. After dark, but we still arrived safely.